Hey, what's up, everybody? Just about to get started in a hot second. Nice to see some of you brothers here already. What's up, Masculinity? What's up, Zimmalu and Backwards Rider? What's going down, everybody? Nice to see some of you brothers here already. What's up, Masculinity? What's up, Backwards Rider? What's going down, everybody? All right, so now that I got that feedback over with, don't know what I just did. Okay, that's still doing its thing. All right, hold on for a second. They're having a little shindig here tonight. All right, so let's get started. Wow, okay. So what's up, Blackwoods Rider? What's up, Masculinity? Let's see who else we got in here. SE Made. Wait a minute, something's just definitely wrong here. Hold on for a second, brothers, brethren. Okay, I'm definitely attached. One second. Ah, there we go. Okay, now that we're about to get this party started, right? Got to get this party started quickly. All right, let's see. SC Made, what's going down? Backwards Rider, Masculinity. Okay, got 9 others in here, and yo, let me tell y'all something today, fellas. This is going to be some mess right here. I want y'all to understand that this is about to be some mess right here. The embarrassment that should be I mean, just really this is astounding. The black woman should be embarrassed, but a lot of them don't, and there's a reason for it. This so-called empowerment class, right? And I want y'all to understand that when they talk about empowerment, right, what they are really talking about is how they have used any platform to really degrade and debase themselves. All right, in all the movies, in in media, and a lot of things you got going on, and a lot of things that you have going on. What we have is just a level of embarrassment that we shouldn't even be putting up with. But we do. And you know why we do? Because empowerment. All right. We're more interested in empowerment. Oh, the Black woman is empowered. Right? And so what you have is a mess that is beyond a mess. From this same so-called empowered class of ratchetness that we see going on. Now, how did they get this power? All right, and let's look at this. How did they get this so-called power for empowerment? All right, when you really look at it, they got this power. All right, they got this power by way of just being so toxic that the status quo understood that they can destroy the community by using them to do it. I want y'all to understand that. They got this idea. Well, you know what? These people, these women will destroy her whole community. Let's let them. All right. And so now you have what we have. You have a community that no one can touch. You bet not. So you have a community no one can touch, and that no one holds to account. No one holds to task. Everyone is afraid of within that community. And the only people that are not afraid of this community, the only people that are not afraid of this community are the ones that use it. For their own goals, for their own anything. All right. They're the only ones that's not afraid of this. Everybody else is afraid to say something. Everybody else is afraid to hold them accountable. Everyone else is afraid to do anything to this specific group of people. Scared for their lives. Oh, you can't say nothing about the Black woman now. That's the queen. That's the queen. So this so-called queen of destruction, this queen of destruction, right? She has been allowed to, and let's not get it twisted. This queen of destruction is a representative of what this community really is. This queen of destruction is a representative of what the community really is. All right. Out of hand is an understatement. All right. It's a straight up understatement when we say that these women are out of hand. All right. But what we're going to look into today, is, all right, not all of that we know. All right. What we are going to look into today is when you how bad it is when you got them as such representatives that you got a segment of poisonous men. They're not men, the thug culture. You got this poisonous group that is responsible for keeping them afloat. All right. They are happy to be the attack dogs. All right. The BAWs are not the only ones that have been traitorous. All right. They're the leaders of the group, and don't get it twisted. The BAW is the leader of all that is toxic and just terrible about the so-called Afro community. They're not the leaders over the good Afro men. Oh, don't get that twisted. They don't lead the good Afro men. However, they do lead their attack dogs. You know, thug fizzle fashizzle my nizzles. All right. They do lead the thug culture. All right. And we got to remember how they were able to leverage this leadership. There is something to say about owning your own property. There is something to say about being financially responsible. There is something to say about all that, right? And when we talk about financial responsibility, all right, when we're talking about financial responsibility, we're talking about brothers that can take care of SH. Okay? We're talking about brothers that can take care of stuff. They don't need to be AW because they can already take care of stuff, right? And we are the strength or the future of a good community. And this is why I say that whatever we do, the one thing we need to do is start all the way back over. All right. Whatever we do, we need to start all the way back over. All right. And if it's not going to be with the black woman, then it's not going to be with the black woman. And it don't need to be. If it's too hard to get together, here's the thing. One of the things that traveling has showed us, one of the things that we needed to that we need to address is that there is no real power vacuum. All right. The females, the black women have been able to get control of the community simply due to the fact that that's what the Caucasians wanted. Period. It had nothing to do with us. You see, this is when I keep saying that we're still slaves, right? And why we are still slaves. All right. We are still slaves because we do not control who makes the laws. And so they can basically subvert the Afro man by making laws. And part of our fault is to teach our young ones as if their laws are just. And one of the things we need to start doing, one of the things we need to stop doing is teaching that their laws are just, that they're right. We need to stop teaching that their laws, that the United States is a nation of laws. It's not. It simply is not. Remember, they changed their laws at the drop of a hat. All right. And the only thing they need to change their laws is the will to disenfranchise another, which they've done over and over and over again. Right? We look at the Jim Crow laws, we look at all the laws they came up with, and you know that on his heads, their laws are crooked. Their laws are crooked as hell. How do we know they're crooked? Because they're unjust, right? How do you have a law where you give women the right to kill a baby in their womb? All right. But then when you apply that law to a man, he gets manslaughter. Like if he's drunk driving, hit a woman on her way to an abortion clinic, and the baby dies, he gets charged with manslaughter or murder. Either way, he's going to jail. So how can you have one person go to jail? How can you have one person go to jail for the same thing that the other person did? How do you have that? How does that work? Well, it works when your laws are crooked. It works when your laws are crooked as hell. That's how that works. It works when your laws are unjust as hell. That's how it works. All right. And so what's happened here is we had these women. All right. We had these women be used to subvert everything that we're supposed to be about. All right. They subverted everything. Right. And how ridiculous did this get? Right. And when they're talking about when they're talking about, oh, the men aren't protecting us, we shouldn't. There's no way in hell we should be protecting this mess. There's no way on God's green earth that we're supposed to be protecting this mess. No way. Period. Not supposed to happen. All right. And so therein lies the problem. And so what we're going to address today is, one, how the Black woman is solely responsible for her issue. Solely responsible for their issues, right? And then two, right? F them. Everybody's talking about Brittany Griner. All right. And I want y'all to understand something. I want y'all to understand something. In Brittany Griner and all these females. All right. Brittany Griner and all of these females that dissed good men. All right. All these females that dissed good men. All right. They got what's coming from the same way we would. All right. When we F up, we get what's coming to us. right? When we F up as brothers, we get what's coming to us. But when females F up, they got to run this. But if it was a man, all right. And this is what is so effed up about the black women, the so-called black community. This is what's really effed up about them. And this is why, if there was ever something that showed you that no, we do not need to be protecting these women, this would be it. Amongst other things, right? Amongst all the rest of the stuff, this would be like the biggest message. Let me take a look at this. Because sometimes y'all send me messages like my stuff is being effed up. All right. Okay. Hey, thanks, Backwoods Rider. All right. Thanks, brother. All right. So as we get into this, right? As we get into this, what happens is that these women just are so despicable as to how they treat us Afro men. Right? They are so despicable as to how they treat Afro men. And in this, they come with a sense of entitlement. All right. They look at us and they're like, okay, well, we can treat them like crap. All right. We can rob them of their history. I want y'all to think about this for a minute. These are women that can rob us of our history and be okay with it. Our history is the history of Afro people. So I want y'all to get that understood. Our history is the history of Afro people. All right. And so basically, what happens is these females have been allowed to come in, usurp authority in the home. All right. They've been able to come in, usurp authority in the home. All right. And do whatever the hell they want. Hey, what's up, David Bowman? Let me see who else popped back in. Got you, but Rolando G. Oh yeah. And let's see, make sure I'm on the right thing. Oh dang, hold on for a second, I'm not. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so let's see who else popped up in here. All right, what's up, Essie Maid? Oh, Space Rice Krispie, what's going down? What's going down? All right, now let me ask y'all this favor. Hey, thanks, Backwoods Rider, for the donation. My donation links is in the description box, along with my PayPal me. Okay, so let me say this. We've been under attack by the black woman. And let me say this loud and clear. We have been under attack by the black woman as she's been paid off by all these systems, all right, to subvert the family. They got her to do it. They got her to do what otherwise did not happen. I mean, they just couldn't. With through all of these Jim Crow laws and everything, we were still prospering as families, right? And integration was bad, and people got to understand that the civil rights marches and the integration thing was not about we wanted to be with white people. The whole thing with the schools were that how they were treating the Afro schools is they were not funding them. Like we was paying hell of taxes, but our schools were not being funded. So I'm going to tell you how racist this country really is. And then we'll get back to Brittany Griner about this racism and things, right? And so we're going to educate you too in the same thing. All right. The United States is a country that was founded on racism against Afro people. It is a racist country, had always been a racist country, probably will always be a racist country. Having said that, if you pick your states, right, and pick the ones that even though you might be like, oh, they racist, but you check yourself and be like, and ask yourself, okay, they're racist, but do they give you the freedom? All right, do they give white people the freedom to be racist? Do they give you the freedom to live? All right, and let's take that away. Do they give you the freedom to live? All right, so you're always going to have, this country was founded on racism. So you're going to have more racists here because that's been the blood, the DNA of this country when it comes to white people. Not all white people are racist, but this country was definitely founded on it, and they've acted on it, and they've never let up from it. They still have racist laws on the books. That should tell you something. So they have racist laws on the books, and they will continue to have those racist laws on the book until they don't. But here's the thing. This is why I say you're a slave here. And we're not the only slaves, right? I would dare say that most everyone in the United States is slave. Black, white, with the Hispanics, they can go back to Mexico. All right, most people's minds are enslaved here. That's how you get racism. That's how you get that group of people that think they're superior to other people because of the color of their skin. All right, and so when we talk about this, all right, when we address this racism thing, there's some things that y'all need to understand about this as we address these things. All right. One, you don't give this country a pass. Like, and y'all know I'm conservative, but I will never give this country a pass. They haven't repented from their actions. All right. They have never repented from their actions. All right, they haven't. All right, and this is something that we should just all be aware of, and something that we should not give a pass to. Right? We should not give a pass to. One of the things I wanted to point out is We got into worshiping thing. All right, we got into worshiping things, right? And making a hero out of people who should actually be villains. All right, the products that they made should be villainy, and so um, one of the things that one of the things that we really never really addressed as a people is how do we deal with the history here that is the history of the United States. Because the history of the United States is really effed up if you really want to think about it. It is really effed up. In every sense of the word, it is really effed up. And it stays effed up because no one is teaching it. All right, hold on for a second. Um, Hold it. All right, let's see. This is what I want. I want to show y'all something. See, we lift up people, we do stuff, we sing stuff, and we don't really know what the hell we're doing. Right? We don't know what the hell we're doing. And a lot of times we're doing stuff is because that's what we were told to do. That's what we learned to do in school. School taught us that. All right, school taught us. All right, so I want to show y'all three things real quick. And one thing I'm glad about the Brittany Griner thing for this reason. That people are starting to just call out the United States for the racist place it is. Hold on, let me get a better version of it. So people are starting to call it out for the racist place that it is, right? People are starting to say, okay, yeah, oh, we got an issue here, right? People are starting to say that. People are starting to say, maybe we was wrong about a whole lot of things. Let me see how it started. And where's that band? All right, let's start with, and where is that band? To show you what I'm talking about. Okay, there we go. And where is that band? And so our education system is effed up. All right. Our education system is effed up because they want us to remain dumb. All right. Our education system is effed up because they wanted us to remain dumb. We were better off in our own schools as Afro people. Okay, so now let's go over a little history here. Could I get some time to go over a little history here? All right, so let me put some history in here real quick. A lot of people don't like us putting history up in here, but we're about to put some history up in here, and then we're going to have a deep discussion. Right? We're going to have a deep discussion about all this stuff. And then we're going to look into Brittany Griner, black women, what they represent, all right, and what they represent to us. All right. So in this segment, we just going to go here, right? We're going to call it for what it is. We're going to call it out for what it is. All right, because we just need to. And we need to because if we still persist in letting this go to this level where we okay what they do, where we don't stand up all right, where we don't stand up and call this thing out. All right, if we don't stand up and call this stuff out, right, we're doomed. Well, the community is already doomed, but I mean, we as individuals will be doomed as well. And for me to explain why that is, well, let me explain why that would be. Why we would just be utterly doomed. And I'm saying we will be utterly doomed. We will be doomed because of this. That we will be doomed because of this. Because the men, if no men stand up, most men are going to show no morality, no strength, no manhood, no anything, right? So that's what we have to move away from. Hold it, what is this? What did he say here? And so basically the laws in the United States was specifically designed to have us destroyed at each point. All right. And you know, let's just keep it real. The intent of the laws in the United States were to destroy us and they not only wanted us, they wanted our families destroyed. All right, so let's just get that out of the way. Okay, now we know what that is. We know what it is. Bada boom, bada bang. Okay, bada boom, bada bang. All right, we get it. You want us destroyed. All right, now that we know that, how do we combat this? Right? We combat this by not standing with them on their intentions for us. All right. So we had this sisterhood thing and stuff, and we always covered for them. But we have to understand now that this sisterhood, they're the ones responsible for their negative image. These black women are the ones responsible for their own negative image. That this is all they're about everywhere they go, in restaurants, on tables and stuff like that, right? Now, when we get to this, when we get to a Brittany Griner, right, and her plight in jail, her plight in jail and what's going on. A lot of dudes argue, oh, you hated the United States and you didn't want to stand for the flag and this, that, and the other. You called it racist. Now you want their help, right? I have a problem with dudes that say that about this woman. Whether she did it for grandstanding or attention, on those points right there, she was right. She was right for the wrong reasons, but she was right. All right. The United States is racist, have been racist. Here's the big kicker though. In its racist policies, the most privileged in the United States, brothers, you got to understand this, the most privileged and protected by the laws of the United States, and when I say by the laws of the United States, we're talking about these platforms like Google, Facebook, Twitter, and stuff. The most protected individuals were the LGBTQRSTO, in the rest of them alphabet, and the black women. If you were a conservative white woman, all right, oh, there was going to be a problem with you, right? You could be a conservative black woman so long as you're married to a white man like Candace Owens, right? You notice that the two conservatives that can't speak is an Afro man who, or an Afro women who are husband and wife who are speaking on behalf of the Afro community in the name of conservatism. See, because conservative Afro people would not be Democrat, damn for sure wouldn't be Democrat, they wouldn't be Republican either. All right, because conservative Afro people care about the community. All right, so let's get that right. Right? The conservative Afro people care about the plight of the community. Liberal whites do not. All right. When we talk about buck breaking, that was the LGBT slaves that beat an Afro man to within an inch of his life. All right. We'll get into something else. How this place was called Turtle Island. How that may be a factor in stuff. All right. Because then you got to look at, well, who was on this Turtle Island? The Americas. And we're talking about all of the Americas used to be called Turtle Island. So who are the inhabitants? That would be the original people. And they're starting to look dark and darker by the day. All right. But while we get into this, here's the problem with these people's beef with Brittany Griner. They're making the wrong argument because they're not thinking like men. Let me repeat that again, just in case somebody missed it in the back row. These people are making the wrong argument because they are not thinking like men. And for y'all to get y'all to understand that, let me say this. Oh, what's up, Daniel Porter? Just in case I missed him. All right, so let me say this. And what's up, Greg Mahone? When you're not thinking like men, you start making the same arguments that the white people are making, and instead of thinking and making your own argument based on the history of this country. So I, at the same time, understand this, I, at the same time, can say that this country has been racist, that no Afro person should stand for the national anthem. I'll show you why in a minute. But no Afro person should stand for the national anthem. When white people make something for all of us to follow, before Afro people start following it, because it's probably going to be counterintuitive to us, what we need to do is look and research that thing they want us to follow. We need to research that thing they want us to follow. Now, the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, this stuff, this flag and stuff, in the army. Another reason I was glad I was leaving, because one of the things that I did not like is the Soldier's Creed. And I didn't like it for the phrase that it had in it, the American way of life, that we're defending the American way of life. Because the American way of life is garbage. The American way of life is bully everybody, steal other people's stuff. If they're a minority, if you get people to follow your laws, tweak your laws against the people following it to favor the Caucasians at every point in time. Give them some crumbs every once in a while so that they think that the laws work, that it's the best system. Y'all heard it said, oh, the laws in the United States aren't perfect. Egad. No, they're not perfect. We're not saying that they're perfect, but these are the best laws in the these are the best laws in the world. It's the best system. No, it's the most corrupt. And it stays corrupt is because they convinced you that it's the best system in the world. Period. There is no good system in the world, in the Western world. All right. The best system in the world, if you're a man, would be in Islamic countries. The best system in the world for a black woman is here in the United States. They let them get away with anything else. But if you're an Afro man, it's the Islamic countries. It's a better system than here. Because all you got to do is keep your nose clean. Remember, Afro men are being shot unarmed by the police, while white dudes get to shoot police, kill 3 officers, and they're taken in and arrested. All right. They still have the laws on the book whereby white people can kill black people and it not be a felony. Why do you think a lot of these police officers are getting off? Right? Everything about this country is racist. And so it's up to the people to change it, because the government, the senators and the people running the government, especially on the Democratic side, we had a shot with Trump. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna let the cat out the bag. We had a shot with Trump to reason with him, because one of the things about Trump is he'll spout what he think he know about history, but he understands he don't know history. And a lot of people were getting things done under Trump when they were showing him who America really was. When Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, who Afro people couldn't stand, they couldn't stand Kim Kardashian because Kanye and a rich Afro man picked her over a black woman who they said, well, we're just like her. We're 304s like Kim Kardashian. Why? So if he was going to pick a 304, why couldn't it be a black woman? Because instead of helping him, black women probably would have tried to destroy him from the very beginning. He's where he's at. Problem with the children. but at least he got money, right? He got what he likes to do. All right. And apparently he handled it, whatever the issues is with the children. You haven't heard much from it lately. This is the Star Spangled Banner. All right. And then these are the verses. All right. Now, this is going to be important. All right. And where is that band who so vauntedly swore that the havoc of war? Oh, can y'all read that? How many people can read this? What I want to know is how many people can read this. This is important. All right. This is an important question I just asked. This is the Star Spangled Banner, y'all. This is the third verse. As written out by Francis Scott Key. Now, I'm asking, oh, dang, I forgot to tell Brother Dwight this is on. I am asking, you who can read this, because this is part of the problem. They're trying to hide things now in a way that we will not understand it. All right. This is the third verse of the Star Spangled Banner. And out of curiosity, hey, what's up, K-Dot? Let's see who else popped in. All right. And understand when they said they're divesting, what's happening is they're getting angry that the Afro men have awakened. Hey, Simplified Texas Marine. All right. So basically, I want y'all to understand this. If you can you read this? How many people can read this? This is cursive writing. Right? This is something that we're not taught to do. For those of you who have children, get books on cursive writing and teach them to do it. The reason why you want to do that is that all of our founding documents are written like this. When you want to look what the old-timey folks did, this is it, cursive writing. It's going to be in cursive writing. So you need to be able to read that, right? Now, I'm going to help you out a little bit. All right, this is what it really says. All right. One of the things that Trump was good for, and this was unintentional, all right, this was unintentional. One of the things he was good for is when Kaepernick righteously protested what was going on with police shootings, look at how black people attacked him with the white narrative. Well, he hasn't been a good quarterback since such and such and such and such. Black people, not the brothers, not the sisters, black people allow white people to blackball Kaepernick from the NFL for standing up for brothers who was being shot unarmed and being killed by the police. And the main dudes that was standing against this man were the main ones who would probably end up in that situation where they're being shot while they're unarmed. All right. So this is the third verse. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. Let's read the whole thing. And where is that band who so violently swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and country should leave us no more? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave. Oh, he was serious. Let me read that again. Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the star-spangled banner in triumph does wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. All right, that's that third verse, y'all. All right. Yes, the law was never designed to fully execute justice, crime, poverty. All right, I want y'all to understand that. And so, basically, this is why we should neither be Republican or Democrat. All right, Afro people should leave these parties alone. Period. We should leave these parties alone. And we should start learning to think as a group, but as individuals. The individual should be respected. All right, but we don't do that. And that's what makes this community, this so-called Black community, a disaster. All right, so I brought this up because we have to go back. Now that y'all are educated, that when people come up against this woman, Brittany Griner, they need to start thinking like dudes, right? This is a woman who tried to be a man, who was able to do whatever she wanted because of the laws of this land, not because of morality, not because of spirituality, not because of our customs of who we used to be as a family. She is against us as Afro people. But her argument about the about the flag and the injustice, although she wanted things to, more privilege for Black women and didn't care about the rest of the community. All right, let's just get that out the way, because that's all this is about. She wanted more privilege for Black women and really didn't give a damn about the rest of the community. So now that we got that out the way, okay, Now that we have that out of the way, all right, then let's get this understanding. This is a woman that went to a place, broke the law, knew she was breaking the law, all right, got caught, all right, and now have a coach, one of these white liberal females, that said that if it was LeBron James, well, if LeBron James still would have been good, because the thing that saved LeBron James, let's talk about LeBron James real quick. The same thing that saved LeBron James was his football coach that took him in from the streets, because LeBron James, raised by a single mother, was running the streets and was going to end up in a situation that the two people who he think his dad, one of the people that he think his dad come from. All right. Remember, the same mom that was being done in by one of his teammates that he had moved from the team when he was in Cleveland. All right. I want y'all to understand that. All right. That same mom. All right. But and embarrassing him like that. Now, credit to his wife. His wife hasn't been an embarrassment, and credit to the image of his family. I disagree with a lot of stuff that come out of LeBron James's mouth, but I got to give him that on his family, right? He has a model family for Afro people, right? And we could still disagree with stuff that come out his mouth, with positions that he takes politically, because remember, he's not really astute. He's been raised by these white men since high school. All right. And so I'm waiting for him to get his own voice to see the poison that is this left-leaning agenda. Right now, he has to be about all this stuff because he's in the commercial limelight. And he's one of the pawns, unfortunately, in that aspect of it. But LeBron James would not have been in this situation, because the male basketball players are not going to places and breaking other people's laws as grown men. Here's the irony. When the high schoolers and when the teenagers did it in college, when they went to China and was stealing, got caught shoplifting, right? And they were in trouble. UCLA, and one of them was the Ball brothers, the middle brother. That's why he can't get it. And he destroyed himself. He could play in the NFL, but one of the things this shows people is that he's a follower. Because with LeVar Ball being his dad, right, he still followed the hood rat dudes that was raised by single mothers. Whereas Lonzo followed his dad, and Melo followed his dad, but Jello, no. All right, he followed the other dudes, his teammates, and it ruined him. It could have ruined him more had it not been for his dad. Oh, and had it not been for one other person. Oh man, who was that guy? Oh, this orange man. Oh yeah, Trump. See, Trump got them boys out. Trump got a lot of Afro people out of trouble, and Afro people still continue to stab him in the back. Trump gave a lot of loans to Afro people in New York, and New York voters forgot about that as soon as he said he was Democrat. And this is why I said it's doomed. The community is doomed, because they stabbed the people that helped them the most in the back to maintain allegiance to the plantation slavers who have enslaved their minds so thoroughly that even in the midst of everything that's going wrong now, you got a bunch of ignorant black folks trying to blame Trump for it. They don't even understand that a lot of these things are being done by Biden's executive orders, by his own pen. That's how lost this community is, right? But when we look at who's in charge of this community, this is how sick the community is. When Biden can put out a commercials with strippers on a pole, this is how much respect they have for the majority of Afro men. And to be honest, the majority of Afro men although the majority of Afro men are working, the majority of Afro men don't have children, but the majority of Afro men are still voting for the dudes that have no respect for them that put this out. And while many more Afro men left the Democratic plantation, we're still outnumbered by simps that you can entice with this message. This was an actual commercial. This was an actual commercial. Let me repeat that. This was an actual commercial. Did I say that this was an actual commercial? Actually, a commercial? This is the sickness of the so-called black community. This is the sickness of the so-called black community right here. That as an actual commercial, they were able to make this a commercial targeted to black people and not seeing how disrespectful this is to Afro men in particular, because they were aiming at Afro men. They're like, y'all are so dumb that we're going to put some half-naked women up there and tell you to vote for us, and most of y'all will do it. That's how dumb you are as men. And the women, they said to the women, oh, just keep up this 304 mentality. All right. This is the image of the black woman. Hold on. While we're talking about images, so this says nothing but negative. They're saying that this is the image that they have of Afro men, that the majority of the population of voters of Afro men are so dense that this is all it takes to get them to vote Democrat. Right? And they're going to vote Democrat because you get them to hate the dude that actually did productive things for them. And if we would have gave him 4 more years, imagine what more he could have done. Because remember, the Democrats and Republicans hated that dude. The Republicans just jumped on at the end. The Republicans are responsible for losing the House themselves, because they helped the Democrats throw hate at Trump. Because they didn't, and people don't remember, Republicans didn't like him either, because he was doing his own thing. And he was doing a lot of stuff for Afro people, getting them out of jail. All right, I want y'all to think about that. But this is the sickest thing that was done. All right, and this is all that. I don't care if you see the black woman as a Supreme Court judge, the vice president, they're garbage to them. They ain't running SH. They're a token to them. That's all it is. Because this is what they think. When they say, hey, we're going to just hire some black women strippers, because that's all they do anyway, for a political message. All right, think about that. That our politics is so effed up that this is a political message. All right. This is a political message that the Democratic Party made because this is what they think of one, black women, and this is what they think of men. And they say it sparked outrage. But then at this election, these people were fighting to not have this election looked at by the Supreme Court. Every court in the history they were looking for a way to not touch what happened at this election. Even as evidence start coming out, and so they said no standing. No standing means that we can't, you can't sue, it has to be somebody else. And then they said no standing for everybody. And we got clowns running around and say, oh yeah, y'all lost. No, look like you lost. You're complaining about all them stimulus, all the stimulus that you thought you had. Oh, they ate all that up with all these prices. And all that stimulus you had is going into the pockets of these oil producers, all right, these gas companies, the gas companies that run your home, and the food places. Because this is the image of black women, but this is the image they made for themselves. They are responsible for this. Nobody told them to just make this the only thing they did. They're not even known for remember hip hop artists like back when Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, Foxy Brown, Lil Kim, even JJ Fad, the real Roxanne Shante. All right. Moni Love. All right, when they was all out there. All right. And then it went to hell in a handbasket real quick. And so this is them. This is all they have to offer. A behind, a stank kitty, stank hair, because it's somebody else's hair that's been covering up their natural hair for eons and decades. And so their scalp has rotted. Right? And then you got the bad attitude and bad spirit to go with it. No, the brothers didn't make that image. That's the image they made for themselves. All right. And then to drive it home. To drive it home. Again, I say it again. I'm going to just say this again. This is beyond pathetic. But it just ill what it ill. This right here is a senator running for office. It's a senator running for office. And this is the United States, y'all. This is why the black community is doomed. To get votes. Because apparently booties to the poll worked enough. This woman decides to come to the plantation to carry votes from them dudes that's plantation minded. And that this is her. All right, that's her. Hey, what's up, Rashad? All right, that's her. There it is. Brothers, that's where the community is right now. That's the community right now. This is how pathetic it is. Now, so the question is, what do we do about it? All right, because a lot of these woke dudes ain't woke. These woke dudes are on everybody else's poisonous agenda. They're down with the LGBTQRSTWXYZ. All right, they're down for every. Oh yeah, don't forget to get them thumbs up, right? All right, but they're down for every toxic thing that the Caucasians has put before us. All right, they fight hard for the Democratic Party, no matter how much they destroy us as a people. All right, that's these woke dudes. That's these the hoteps, right? The woman is God. She's your queen. No, she's their queen. And then this movie they got out, that the woman king. Notice that. Notice that. All right, they don't call the white woman a king. The actual queen of England, they don't call her a king, because that would be an insult. She's the head monarch in England, Queen Elizabeth. She's the head monarch, figurehead of England. So they don't call her a king, but if it's a black woman, they give her the position of the man, the woman king. Let that sink in for a minute. And Viola Davis, she should be despised by all brothers for allowing them for playing that role. Oh yes, I'm the no, not the woman king. And it's a skewed version of history, is because if they're basing it on Mzinga, y'all remember the true history I did about her, how she poisoned her father and her brother so that she could be the sovereign, and killed the baby boy. That's who Queen Mzinga was, right? And then she was having love affairs with the Dutch and Portuguese to maintain her people. Now let's understand what her people was. What she did give up to be enslaved was all the politicians, which this would mean all the people that had strength, the artists and the builders, along with the spiritual leaders. Because if you're trying to be in charge of something and you want to act wickedly, spiritual leaders are going to speak against you, and they gives a damn, right? And so she sold all them into slavery. And see, people don't want to talk about that. Oh, she tried to keep some of her. No, she kept the weak people from going into slavery so that she could have people to lord over. Oh, she had a harem of 60 men. Okay, so that's 304 culture. Remember, she's not the same as a man. So while they pumping and dumping inside her, she's receiving all that material from all those men. Which means that she's been a pump dumpster. And that's all she's been, a seed dumpster. She was being done in by everybody, the Portuguese, the Dutch, and those 60 harem men. But see, these so-called soft, moist-minded dudes don't want to hear that about their queen, because they don't mind being emasculated before the public. And this woman is probably part of the alphabet crew anyway. I want y'all to think about that. So they become part of the alphabet crew, but they need men for something. And so then they want to try to throw their whatever sexuality they have left around. I want y'all to think about that for a second. All right. She's up there throwing her sexuality around because she's going to need the vote of men. And she's in Georgia. And if I lived in Georgia, I would just like be upset at I would just really be upset and it's a Rhode Island state senator, not Georgia. All right, so she's a Rhode Island state senator. All right. And it's pathetic. 28-year-old Democrat Tiara Mack posted the clip of her official TikTok on her official TikTok. It's an official TikTok account. On the beach, 4th of July, doing a headstand while twerking. And here's the thing. I think she LGBT. All right, I think she LGBTQRS. Y'all need to see this news report. All right, let's get to the news report. Let me get to the news. Let me tell you, y'all need to see to believe. Because it did officially make the news. So let's get this news in here real quick. U.S. states. All right. Independent TV campaign. All right, let's redo this. All right, U.S. State Senator sparks debate. All right. Senator Tyra Mack, TikTok. This is Senator Mack, right? And so, all right. So they say canvassing voters in a political campaign is a tradition that dates back to early. Trump administration officials have been sending hold on. Because they lie. Okay. And so Rhode Island State Senator for District 6 has posted a campaign video of herself twerking upside down on TikTok. And possibly the most unusual canvas yet. The 28-year-old Democrat Tyra Mack posted the clip on her official TikTok account. In the video, she could be seen on the beach on the 4th of July doing a headstand while twerking. The person filming could be heard saying, well, that's what they were saying. That Matt herself then delivered the message on camera saying, vote Senator Mack. Now, y'all want to know what the message is and all of that? Y'all want to know what the message is and all of that? That even though she's alphabet, even though she's part of the alphabet crew, the LGBTQRS, TUVWXYZ crew, right? What she does is she still plays and use her sexuality all right, she'll still use her sexuality to she'll use her sexuality to try to get dudes that she don't even like to put her into power. Understand this. She will use her sexuality because she's a part of the LGBTQRS and all the rest of that. But she'll use her booty. She want to use her booty to get dudes that she ain't even capable for to vote for her. And these ignorant dudes, just because some of them, just because they saw this, would probably vote for her and not see, hey, what's up, backwoods, and not see the insult that this is to their character. Oh yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Not only this, she wants to take the place of the Afro man, and she want to be kissing her white man God. Now I can see why a bunch of black women are going to go flock to see this, and it's going to make relationships between the so-called black women. But then again, this is their image. Their image, the image of the modern day black woman right now is she'll sell out the community and Afro man in a heartbeat. She don't want a good man, never did. She wanted power over him. She wanted to be worshipped by him, and she wanted to be able to use the Afro man. The very heart that the Afro man had for the black women, she corrupted it and wanted to use, but by wanting to use that heart that he had for her, that will to protect her, that desire to procreate with her, right? She said, I'm going to use all that love he feel for me. I'm going to use it against him. Give it to the white man. Because, after all, the white man is her God. And this is coming from her own actions. That's the leap we can make coming from her actions. All right. I wouldn't dare go see that garbage of a movie. The title alone says that it's going to be disrespectful to Afro men. And any of the dudes, black people in that movie, you're saying it's a check? No, all money ain't good money. And actors used to stand up against that kind of mess and not participate in that mess. They would look at the story and like, what's the story really about? All right. But now you got a bunch of dark actors just looking for money. And so they sold their souls and hearts out. And so they'll do anything to trash the image of the Afro man. But it is what it is. Right? And yeah, basically. All right. So this is their image. This is why they're doomed. And they are doomed. All right. A lot more brothers are traveling. And here's the catch. For the brothers that are traveling, for a lot more of the brothers that are traveling, other brothers are in the midst. And so Brothers are starting to build communities outside of the United States. We're starting to find wives outside of the United States. All right, a lot of brothers are going to the Philippines and finding wives. You got a lot of black women that are trying to leave the United States. They made this mess. The very ones that made this mess, that went against the Afro man, now they're trying to leave it alone. No, I'm like, no, you made the mess. You might as well stay in and enjoy it. You made it. You were against the Afro man, right? We wasn't SH, right? All right. And so in that, they made this bed for themselves. All right. I hope they enjoy the bed in comfort. I mean, bottom line, I hope they enjoy this comfort. Because unless they are hooked up with an Afro man already, except for the black women that have money, but understand they have money, so they're going to go and they're going to give it to some man in some other country. Either way, they're going to give away their money, and those men are going to use her money, and she's going to have to submit. It's funny. They hate submitting with a man that will share with them. All right. Yeah, she's alphabet. John Juke, she's alphabet. A lot of these are, and I want y'all to understand, a lot of these people that are in political power for the Democratic Party, they have nothing really to do with the Afro community. Okay, a lot of these people, a lot of these female, all right, that are in the Democratic Party, a lot of these black women have absolutely nothing to do with the black family and community. They're in support of the alphabet community. That's who runs them, the alphabet community and the Democratic Party more directly. All right. Their goal is to put a bandage on the bleeding of the Afro people away from the Democratic Party. And so instead of actually doing right by Afro people, the Democratic Party put the figureheads up and say, do anything you can to stop the hemorrhaging. All right. But it's all backfiring, because as a racist entity, which the Democratic Party is, it was founded on racism. Right. And it was founded on the worst type of racism, the type of racism that said that any way we can, if these Afro people start making a move upward, we will find a way to destroy them and destroy their movement. If we have to drop bombs on them from the air, like on Greenwich Street, all right, if we have to put their cities underwater, like where most of these highways went, and most of these man-made lakes are over the cities of Afro people that was prospering. All right, if we have to get their mothers to buck break them mentally while they're young, so that as they grow up, they won't know if they're female or male. However we do that, we need to destroy them. And this is the mentality right now, right? And they are the tools that are being used against the Afro community. But then again, it doesn't exist unless we find women and build as brothers amongst ourselves, minus the BAW, meaning that if she ain't with us, she ain't a part of us. And by with us, I'm not talking about with us in the conversation. No, she shouldn't be in our conversations. If she ain't with us as a mate, bearing our children, then no, she ain't a part of us. Period. If she's bearing the children of our oppressor, then let her stay with our oppressor. If the Caucasian, Hispanic, Oriental woman want to come and say, I see you and I want to build up your community and I'm gonna be with you and I'm gonna submit, then that's who we pick. We don't wait on somebody that where these soft dudes like, oh no, you gotta wait on the black queen and stuff like that. As she gets run through by the Caucasian stuff, what, you gonna take in his children too? Because you're only taking in the one who's going to oppress you as they get older. And they're going to oppress your seed because they don't belong to your seed. They belong to the seed of your oppressor. Remember the quadrille. All right. Remember what happened in Louisiana. Remember what happened in all those places. Remember manumissions. All right. So they gave slaves to the black woman, and the black woman's children oppressed the children of the Afro man. Why? Because those children were the children of the white man. So they had more privilege than you, simply because of who their father was. We the only ones that don't get that. You don't let everybody into your community. Period. Because they got their own community. Okay? They got their own community. And the child remembers his father. No matter how much the mom try to make them forget. Because they know they come from a man. Regardless of what these females try to say. Oh, no, you come from the marrow and the sun that blew the air the right way. We don't need men to make a baby. All right, that's the sickness. That's how sick and it's only hold on. All of this BS about how you don't need a man to make a baby is primarily flooding just the black community. They're not teaching the white women this. The Asian women ain't far. You don't see no Asian women. You don't see no Asian women coming following behind this BS. All right. And so we as Afro men better be very, 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 very careful. We got to be very, very careful. All right. And understand what this country was founded on. This country was founded on theft, murder, kidnapping, rape, molestation, buck breaking, lynching, unjust laws, supremacy, where the people that thought that they were supreme felt that they could only be supreme by cheating, by making people feel that, oh, we're your friends, and then stabbing him in the back. See, that's how they got this country. We invited them in as friends. They stabbed us in the back, turned us against one another, had what the light skin fighting the dark skin and all this. Right? And so a lot of the reason why we're in this situation is that a lot of us betrayed, a lot of so-called black people betrayed the Afro people and helped the Caucasians steal the land. Rename it. Rename us. And then every time they renamed us, we say, okay, we'll take that. No, F that. We're the people of Turtle Island. Period. Or we're the people of Kemet or Ethiopia. Period. Not the country, but the southern half of Africa. The northern half is Kemet. All right. That's who we are. We go back to who we originally were. But most of us were here on Turtle Island. And Remember when I was in the Army and we had the Native American Month, and I did the video a while back, and they told you that most of us were already here. That's the big secret amongst the Native Americans. The other big secret is many in the Native American community aren't the real Indians. They're $5 Indians. When Trump was like, they don't look like Indians to me, about the Nevada Commission for gaming, right? He knew what was up. He knew what was up, and he knew that a lot of them people um, were professional criminals. They were mob criminals, and he said, "No, these are white people claiming to be Indian." All right, and remember the Dawes rolls. When we say $5 Indians, we're talking about the Dawes roll. All right, and so for history on the $5 Indian, when you hear the term, at the time the Dawes rolls came up with the 5 civilized nations. Right now, white people saw that these Indians were getting particular benefits and were able to get land and not have to pay taxes, and so those that could were able to pay the Dawes Commission $5 and have their names put on the Dawes rolls. All right, and so many of these so-called Indians in the modern days, and this is why they look more white than melanated, right? So many Indians are part of these Dawes roll Indians who were never Indian by blood, but because their name was on the Dawes rolls. I want y'all to understand this, because this is how it works for white Africans. And when you look at the movie Shaka Zulu, he says his best. He said, if we let white people come over here and live here, sooner or later they'll be saying we're Africans, as if we were the original people of the land when they're not. And see, this is how they take it over if people aren't careful. So more on the Dawes rolls. And so, okay, yeah. So more on the Dawes rolls. So as they were signing, non-reservation natives were called Negroes. All right, and you know this by looking at the first 3 censuses. Looking at the first 3 census that they did, and we were referred as free roaming or non-reservation natives. All right, and only after the 3rd census did we start being called Negroes. All right, and so that's how that worked. All right, and so there's a lot of stuff that's going on with history, and we need to teach these. I have books. I have a lot of books on this stuff, right? But we need to start teaching. And when I get back, I'm gonna start doing things for. I'm gonna start doing things as the channel grow. So if y'all can help this channel grow by sharing this channel, we're going to go back to the quizzes, the watch giveaways, and stuff like that, book giveaways and stuff. But the channel got to grow. It's because basically the primary function of this channel is to look out and bring things in to bring a little happiness and bring things that children could use to make their lives better or get more skilled, right? All right, in areas, right? And so this is what we want to do, right? And so, and we want to make things like this happen in many places. And so basically, all right, so basically that's the primary function of this channel. But the other one is the learning, teaching and learning, whereas we teach each other, we talk about the real history, we talk about what's really going on. We talk about our spirituality, which is the other one, which goes hand in hand, the symbiotic relationship, right? And so let's try to, brothers, Even when you comment on videos and watch my other videos, let's watch them. Because I believe I put out some information that when I put out a video, I'm putting out information that and a perspective that's going to help, right? And when you do this, make sure you hit the thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and share these videos so that we can grow this channel so that it can do more. So by this channel, it can do more. All right. So, hold on. Let's see. So anyway, so that's where we're at right now, right? We are in a very toxic place right now when dealing with the black woman in general. And our sisters are in the same toxic environment. So if we run across sisters, we get them. We leave these women for the streets, as they say. Remember, she's the alphabet, right? So she don't even like brothers like that. She ain't trying to have our children. And being alphabet, I bet you her alphabet female is a white woman. All right. So yeah, we don't need them. All right. We do not need them. All right. We don't need the system either. All right. We need to start thinking strategically. All right. Because we cannot raise families if we don't. We need to leave the system and its laws alone because their laws are unjust and their laws are nothing but a trap. And the Most High tells us this, the laws of men. We stay away from them and we adhere to the commandments of the Most High. All right. So with that said, I'm out. Thank you all for stopping by. I will holler at y'all a little later, and I might kick back up with one of these on Monday. So I guess a couple of brothers are going to be coming down and bringing stuff. So we're going to film that when they roll down here. Oh man, it's going to be a to do. Let me do this real quick, just in case somebody has something to say. Send in a little invite here. All right. So let me put this up. So y'all can click on that. Anybody want to have something to say real quick? I'll give you a moment. All right, so let's see who popped up in. All right, go ahead, Texas. You on? What's up, man?
Hey, bro, I missed the first half.
Oh, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, it's all good.
I want to throw this in there. You look at every Afro male, black man, whatever you want to call them, but every man that looks like us that is in politics or a more position of prominence, that is not with a ratchet BAW or a black woman or a goddess. Look at every one of them. They post them. But every woman, so-called black, we'll throw Kamala in there, even though we can't find the black in her, but we'll throw her in there. Look at every one of them that does not have a black male husband. It's okay. It's cool. Sisterhood, she good. But any male that does not have a black woman is an issue.
Yeah, he can't even be in politics.
Now keep that in mind. And or any black male of prominence has any money. They roasted Michael Jordan when he got the new woman, but they forgot how his black wife was trying to do him, trying to get him served during playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
So they missed that part. So any male, so always keep that in mind, brother. And I've seen it already. The paperwork. If you go back far enough, look at ads for slave selling, for auction blocks, and look at how they do the image of the black male. He looks like what they call an Indian. They've always known,
Mm-hmm.
they've always been here. There's no way they brought millions of black people from the continent of Africa on wooden boats. There's no way. Not saying there's no way they brought us all across the water enough to populate two whole continents. It didn't happen. So
Right.
we've always been here, but always keep that in mind. And if Kamala is such a sister girl, she's never said one thing public about her sister girl that's over there in Russia. They ain't never mentioned a word about her. They don't care.
Exactly. Let me thank you, Dave Fitzgerald, for your donation.
Yeah, so that's a big thing. And the more I go around, I'm looking at what our options are here. It's out of shape. When they're natural hair, they're out of shape. If you can find one, their attitude is bitter and bad. Is
Right. And here's the thing. And even when they're in their natural state, they're with another woman.
I was getting there. They get with a woman, and here's the gut punch spot before I get off the screen right here. If you look at Brittany Griner, or
Uh-huh.
we'll say BG, she is the walking epitome of the trope of the Afro male. Remember, she was married to another WNBA player. They
Mm-hmm.
had together, which they needed a biological man to create that child. And then she dumped her while she was pregnant. So even Brittany Griner want to be a SD is living the epitome of the hood black male because now she got a baby mama.
Right.
And she's remarried. And
Right.
now she got caught smuggling drugs. She is
Right.
the of the media image of the black male in this world.
Right. And this new movie they got coming out, the Woman King, they
Oh damn.
they will only do it with a black woman because ain't no way that all these movies about white monarchs, white female monarchs, they were either princesses or they were queen. Mary, Queen of Scots, Queen Elizabeth, the Virgin Queen, Queen Elizabeth. Right? She was a queen. She was in her femininity. All right. All of a sudden, you're going to make a movie with it, and we're going to talk about that probably Monday. That's going to be another live stream right there. Um, um, we're going to talk about this woman queen, this woman king thing, and how it's really an insult.
Have you seen the full trailer? Have you seen the full trailer?
With her kissing the white dude and stuff.
Now, with the king that was actually there before she got him out the way. She was just a warrior. There is a king on the throne, and she's trying to tell him to fight. It's like that Queen and Slim. He's the king, but he's inept, and she has to help him, and then takes over.
Right? Yeah. That bull. That's BS. That isn't even real, true African history. That's going to be white. That's white people. That's the history that white people want to put out because they lie about everything when it comes to history, especially when it comes to us. That's not true African history, right? And when there were queens, they poisoned the king. They didn't beat him in combat.
And that was primarily in Egypt.
And they're talking about This is where the Dora Milaje come from. No, the Dora Milaje come out of the heads of some soft head, some witch toilet minded dudes that's pushing this LGBT agenda for Hollywood. That happens to be a writer for Hollywood, and he's making his money by selling out the Afro community. That's where the Dora Milaje come from.
And they use that whole thing about a woman can be king. They keep going back to Queen Elizabeth right now, but they don't know the full story. Her husband, the prince, did not want the throne.
Want to be king.
So
yeah, they don't even know that.
And her father,
she's queen because he didn't want to be king.
Yeah, and her father, who was king, changed the rules to make it okay because he was king.
Right.
She should have been king anyway. Queen anyway. She shouldn't even be queen. It should have been somebody else. But he didn't want it.
Yeah, he didn't want it. Yeah, so he like, I don't want this crap.
But
they don't know that about her husband.
But if you notice, even though she was queen, she never disrespected that man one time.
No. Exactly, because they don't do that.
Exactly.
They don't do that. He didn't want to be king. Because, really, he's not, they're not going into battle or nothing, right? And so he like, I don't want that mess, right? And so she's like, okay, I'll be queen. And so, and there it is. But she never disrespected him.
Yeah, and they didn't run the country anyway. They were just they're
the figurehead.
Yeah, they didn't run nothing.
They're the figurehead. And people don't know, And the Black Panther, the Dora Milaje was created by Ta-Nehisi Coates, who sold out Afro people and sold out the Afro family with that crap. All right, and that's what we got in Hollywood. We got a bunch of sellouts who are soft, moist-minded people that's pushing the Caucasians LGBTQRS alphabet agenda. Period. All right. Period. And we need to leave them alone and their crap alone. They don't represent us. They represent the white people's desire to destroy our heritage, our families, and our homes. And that's how we need to start looking at those dudes in Hollywood. And even the conservative white people see that. Right? The ones that y'all they're starting to come around. They're like, oh wow, these because they see that what was meant for us is now going to be turned on them. And they see how effectively this stuff is when you have women only raising your sons and daughters, all right, and then they see how it has destroyed the Afro community and family. They see this. That's why they're in agreement with us now. They're like, oh wow, we just didn't know. We're sorry, we didn't know. All right, so that's where we're at now. So let's see. Did anybody else pop in? Nope, I guess not. Okay, so with that said, y'all, I'm out. I'll holler back at y'all on the next one, and we're going to talk about all this imagery that they're trying to shove down our throat and how the Black women of Hollywood are betraying the Afro community and family. So we're going to look to that probably Monday. All right. So with that said, y'all, I'm out. You got anything else to add? You got the last word, Texas Marine?
No, I'm good, brother. Hey, y'all, from the end of July through the mid-August, it's gonna be on in Columbus. It's gonna be 3 to 4 of us down there, maybe 3 at one time. It's gonna be on. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Stay tuned. It's gonna be on. We're gonna have some nice footage for you.
All right. So yeah, y'all. So we got a couple brothers rolling down here. So I'll holler at y'all later. Peace, love, and soul. I'm out.
Peace.
Peace.